Welcome back to the Cross Up Podcast. My name is Alan. I'm here with one of my wonderful hosts named Jeremy, and we have two great guests today. We have a third-time returner, Ice Cold Edge, with us for this episode, and then we got a new guest in Kenso. So I'm gonna let them, give themselves a short little intro, share whatever they want to share, and then we can get on to the main topic. So whoever wants to go first.
I'll go first. Hey, what's up, people? Glad to be back talking about one of the things that I love most in my life, which is fighting games. And there's nothing wrong with that. Remember that. And I'm just glad to be here, man. Thanks for having me back. Love talking about fighting games with the boys. So let's do it.
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Well, I guess I make my first appearance here on this. Name's Kenso, pick one. Doesn't matter how you pronounce it. I'm actually the editor.
Yes, yes, he is.
Yes,
So I get to do just like, I talk about fighting games with more people. And I've been on the scene for a long time. So
Yes.
But blah 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 podcast. Let's get it.
you want to give a brief history of the legend of Shinkensu?
On the off chance that someone listening doesn't know who you are.
All right. The legend. All right. The lore. All right. So, I clearly a long time fighting game player. My main games are Guilty Gear and King of Fighters. I can bust your dome in anything that I put my hands on. It doesn't make a difference what game it is. I will do my best to beat you down. But I'm mostly known for those two games, Guilty Gear and King of Fighters. I've had a very long stint with Arxis games. I know those games very well, in and out. I held it down in Texas Showdown one year and put Texas on the map in Guilty Gear. I don't know. I've done a lot of things, man.
You know what's actually funny? It was like our fourth or fifth episode. I can't remember when. I promoted in the Tekken Discord that I participate in, and luckily there's a lot of guys in there that at least give me the support and will watch, tune in, give us feedback. And one of the guys I mentioned, it was like someone asked who's editing and doing your thumbnails because they're really good. And I go, whoa, that's our boy Kenso. Like he's the one that does all that shit for us. And then without even saying like your full name or anything, someone was like, the chip player. And I go, yeah,
There it is.
it's actually the chip player. Yeah, that's him. He goes, oh, that's sick.
Yeah, that's essentially the legend, right? Like, I won with the character no one thought he could win within Guilty Gear. He was considered low tier. I took that character from the bottom and was like, I'm telling you, he's good. Just give me a year. I went from 2003 Evo to not even getting out of pools to getting fourth the second year, and then just having a good year. And then from that point forward, we just skyrocketed all the way up and showed people how strong Chip was. And from that point forward, I was always known as like the Chip guy. I've owned it, So I think I've earned my title amongst the other Chips from Japan. I'm considered a Chip Kami, as they call me, or Chip God. So yeah, I've done my due diligence, and still doing my due diligence now. So
Of course.
From my perspective, Kenso's always a guy that is just around. Like you see him everywhere. Like even if you don't talk to him, who he is.
You know what's crazy? My first tournament was at Texas Showdown this past year. This is when I met Jeremy in person for the first time, and then I met Kenso because in passing I met him through Jeremy. And no, dude, you're right. Kenso just is everywhere. He's mentioned usually if it's someone in the scene.
Dude, you can't escape.
No, he's around, dude.
I'm right
Yeah,
there.
he's there.
I'm there, dude. Like, and go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, there are certain people you see around if you're around consistently that just represent the scene, and you see these faces and these people, and he is definitely one of those people who has done it for decades at this point, and has just been like a super solid, like, kind of pillar of the community. So super, super awesome to share the mic with the man.
I do have to say this real quick. In response, I will say it was a treat to edit the very first podcast you're on with them. I was like, look at I still doing this thing. Hold on.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I see you, big fella. Okay. I was really happy to see that. So that's why, like, that was at least for me, I wanted to make that thumbnail very, like, nice and like really represent you well in what you've done. So
I appreciate that, man. These grays are very well earned.
I'm getting up there too.
And that doesn't mean to say that because you have them, you shouldn't be around. So
No,
that's why.
right.
That's a
That's
fact.
for sure.
That's
That's
a
a
fact.
Yeah,
that's a
for sure,
fact for
for sure.
sure.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
No, there's been plenty of people in the scene throughout the years that have proven no matter how old you are, you can still have your moment to shine.
Oh, I won't lie. Like I said, I mean it in every inch of my being. It doesn't matter the game. I will play it and I will bust you up.
Right.
You know, just all right. I'm gonna do this for the one time. You don't. You know this, Ice, but you don't know the full story. I know you. I know that you're aware of this. There was a trash day. I made top 8 in Soul Calibur 3.
Mm.
Jim, remember Devil Jim?
Yeah, of course.
He used to talk the most amazing amounts of just shit to me.
Of course.
You'll never be good at Soul Calibur. You'll never be good at Soul Calibur. Not only did I whoop his ass, I put him out the tournament. He's like, your Taki's not that good. Your Cassandra's not that nice. I'm like, you, dude, just it doesn't matter. I will bust you with either one. And sure enough, Crow was playing it a lot too, and he played Jim's character. So I was getting real good against it, and I was like, thanks, Crow. I whooped his ass so bad. It was like, it was 2-1, I admit. But from that point forward, that made me keep playing Soul Calibur.
Yeah, buddy.
So,
Yeah, Jim is gonna talk trash regardless. He can't stop himself.
Oh, he's the homie. He's the homie.
Yeah,
but like I was like, so that's why I said here at the beginning of this thing, you guys, it doesn't matter the game. I'm like Batman, dude. Enough prep time, I'll be a problem.
And he'll stop anybody.
There you go. I haven't heard Crow in a long time. What is he doing?
He's still playing 8.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's probably playing Dragonoff right about now, which is typical of Crow. He does like Steve, but he's still, from what I remember talking to him at Texas Showdown, he's still not comfortable with the new stance stuff. And he felt his counter hit game was a little lacking because, I mean, we all know how strong and potent back one was, and he's definitely one of the highest propellants of pressing back one. So, you know, back one's like 13 or 14 frames this game?
13.
Yeah, so he's not fully acclimated to what's going on with him. So I think he's mostly been playing drag lately.
Okay.
Gotcha.
All right, so we can go ahead and start with the main topic, which is where we're going to be talking about the fighting games this year, things that have been announced, things that are upcoming. We're going to be talking about kind of what we think about Evo, and then we actually have an Evo Awards coming up in February, I think is the way they phrased it, which me and Jeremy were confused on what kind of stuff would be even shown during that, but we'll watch it regardless. So we'll start off on a lighter note. Like, what do we hope for, or maybe even predictions for the FGC this year?
Ice, you want to go first?
Yeah. So, in the general sense, I'm not entirely sure. I think it's going to be, for me, like it's going to be a much more active year. I'm going to be involved a lot more. Traveling a lot more. Like I already have hotel rooms for Showdown CEO and Combo Breaker. We have the Evo announcement show coming up tomorrow or Tuesday, so I'll probably have a room for that. After that, I think that they're in the land of Tekken. Like it's kind of in this phase where everybody's kind of complaining about Clive and what they did to the game and blah 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 blah. This is kind of like the point of time when a new game comes out where everybody who played the previous version of the game has succumbed to the fact that it's not like the previous game and therefore it sucks. So they say, right. What did they do to my game?
A whole Twitterverse. A whole Twitterverse.
And then also Clive is out, and I feel like Namco did the MK thing where they released a DLC character, made them super good, and kind of breaks a lot of things out the game, and then people start complaining. But I think they did it at the time they did it because it's TWT off season, move some copies, get some more people into the game, balance patch comes out at the beginning of the year, and then everything will be fine again. That's my
I ain't thinking about marketing. I just look at that. See how that works out. Things just work out like that,
Yeah, I'm interested to see what these new investments in Evo are going to turn out to be. This award show and like how things have to evolve over time, right?
Right.
So I don't know what they're going to do with this freaking award show. Like, what are they going to do? But maybe it'll be cool. Maybe it won't be. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, that's all I got so far.
Okay.
Casey, what about you?
What I hope is that we get, I don't think it's going to happen in CPT, but I see that's in the docket here. But For those of you that don't know, I was trying super hard for CPT this year because Strive isn't really my Guilty Gear. I still support it. I don't go super hard in it anymore. It's not what did they do to the game that I love. It wasn't that. Like, I had my stages of grievances and all that other stuff like that, and I learned to accept it, and I got good at it. But like, ultimately, I'm leaving that to the new kids. They can have that. I'm cool with that. I've done what I wanted to do in the series. For me, I've done everything I wanted in the series. So it's like, you guys got that for now. I'll dick around with it, but that's as good as it gets. But I've been trying for CPT, but the problem with CPT is it's so clustered. So my hope is like, after this CPT, they're like, start now. Like, when it's done, give it a month and then go, because I'm not a fan of these pro tours that are like 4 and 5 and 6 months long. Back then, and even TWT, which I'm very jealous of you guys get your stuff to start at the beginning of the year. You get to go all the way till December. That gives you time to plan for events, plan the offlines, onlines, whatever, and get enough time to practice. Because what ends up happening here is, and why I'm complaining about this and what I hope changes, is that without the jersey or some slick ass Google job where you work for insert some big name company here, you can't go to everything. And it's infuriating knowing that where we came from in the FGC, we knew when the tournaments were. This is a qualifier, that's a qualifier, that's a qualifier. Here's Evo, here's ECC, here's NEC. Okay, cool. And you can plan the year out. You know what you're going to sacrifice. You know what you're not going to sacrifice. CPT is like, here's Evo, here's where it starts. Here's Milwaukee 3 weeks later. Here's France 2 weeks later. Here's, Dominican Republic 5 weeks later. Here's Japan 2 weeks after that. It's like, it's too jumbled up. That is like, well, how can I, as a player, prepare for this and then feel confident in going? And then you see what happened last year. They're like, here's a week-long LCQ. Words cannot describe my frustration. Like, who has enough time to be like, I took these days off for Evo, and then the following year, I'm going to use my PTO for a week-long LCQ? Who's doing that? Not a soul, right? Sure, they shortened it now, but it's like, it's still aggravating that it's all so jumbled up. And then I see TWT, I'm like, look at this guy's breathing room. Can't get that CPT. So I'm hoping that I'm moving over to SNK. I'm going back to where I started. So I'm going back to Fatal Fury, and I'm hoping that SNK starts their Pro Tour at the beginning of the year so I can do exactly what I'm talking about. So my hope is that and Virtua Fighter. Those are pretty much kind of like my last two hurrahs. It's not like I don't like Tekken. I'm going to be real with you. I hope the Tekken community, please just put your keyboards down, put your phone away,
get off Twitter,
off socials, go play the game and get good. Because I'm going to be honest with you, that's the biggest reason I put that game down. And I think, truth be told, I think Tekken 8 is a sick ass game. That game does so much right. I understand this is not my Tekken, but what that game does for players who don't know how to play Tekken, it's helped them tremendously. And the players that already know how to play Tekken, you get even more of a boost. Because, and I'm gonna point this out, this is for the podcast, it's for all the people watching that they'll also play Tekken. I'm on the outside looking in, right? And when I see a training camp between Japan and Korea getting good and not complaining about, oh, Heat Burst sucks and that sucks, sure, they're more from a respectable culture where they show lots of respect towards things, and they do speak negatively on things, but they keep it respectful, but they're still grinding to get through it, right? When I see a tweet from Arslan saying, oh, don't worry, Pakistan's still gonna do this and that and the other, that training camp is 9 ridiculous players in one spot, and that top 8 had 5 of those players that were in there for a reason. They're not complaining, they're working hard, they're getting good, and for what it's worth, 2 of those players in that same training camp busted down that dude. CBM, no games?
Bear came out of nowhere.
No games? And then Edge, and then freaking Bears. Stop it. Like, you guys need to work on getting better. Tekken 8's a good game. You got great online, etc. etc. So I hope future, and this isn't just aimed at Tekken alone, right? It probably won't happen, but my hope is FGC remembers that it is about being good. You can complain all you want. It's not. There's 1, 2, 3 of us in here in particular that's been in here back in the day, right? The game is the game. There is no, my character sucked, you got to deal with it to the next patch. You know, oh, this sucks, pick a top tier. Whatever it is you got to do, spend less time complaining and go get better.
Right.
So that's my hope for FGC Twitter. My predictions are we're going to just keep getting more Evos. Obviously, there's Evo Singapore. They talked about Evo France is on the way. With that same prediction, I'm also hoping that we get obviously one more Evos, but like I like the idea of these new Evos opening up doors from regions. What I mean by that is France is still active in Dragon Ball Fighters, which makes sense to have that there. Japan is very active in Virtua Fighter. It makes sense why it's over there, et cetera, et cetera. So I think it's going to be really unique to see the future of Evo moving forward, where like you can kind of, if you play said game, this is the mecca for that game. That's where you want to go. You know, so there could be Evo Korea. Who knows? I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. So
that'd be dope, actually.
That would be pretty cool.
That'd be fire.
That's what I got.
All right, I guess I'll go next. As far as predictions, I don't think I have very many. I don't think be honest, I'm not too well versed or knowledgeable enough to maybe even make a prediction like that would be even somewhat realistic. So I guess I'll just say what I hope. I kind of want another, like, you know, like you said, France is still very active in Dragon Ball Fighters, and it still has this very like strong community. And like even some of the people that I still watch, like I'm still a big fan of Lythero on YouTube and his videos for Dragon Ball Fighters. And I think it's, you know, I just love his content, but I kind of want them to make another one instead of just updating the older one. But I get it as like, you know, you have to go through development teams. It's like through licensing through Bamco. So it's like, I know it's not easy, but I think it'd be kind of sick if we got another one. And that's kind of really it. I mean, like I think a lot of the games that are coming out have already kind of been my wish. Obviously, we have a whole segment of like games we want to either get either a new one, a sequel, or even like a remake. And that's where probably a lot of these quote unquote hopes are going to come. So I think I'll just leave it for that topic. I think for now it's just mostly continue to grind because I just need to get better, and that's about it.
Let's see. For me, I think my hope and predictions are kind of just passive among the community. It's just gonna grow, right?
Yeah, I think that's a given, especially with the way things have been going.
I can't see you mention like the CPT and TWT like season. Like I having back-to-back events, just one out there, the other is kind of obsessive. It's just who has the time to do this? I feel like if you have a season, there should be like an event for like each month for that season instead of like back to back to back. Like I feel like they should just redo like the how they do seasons for the ending finals. Like think of it like the NFL or the NBA or MLB. Like granted, those have like hundreds of games in the seasons. But realistically, how many tournaments is somebody going to go to in a single year?
And just to add to it, like I think it's okay, right? Where like let's say you look at the release of Tekken or the release of Street Fighter, it's in the summer. Okay, fine, just for Street Fighter, it's in the summer. I could understand season 1 being a short season and season 2 being year round. Same with Tekken. I could imagine season 2 it starts in January, right? It's perfect. Like, or let's say February, right? Because January is still somewhat travel season. Whatever the case may be, like let's say TWT starts with Frosty Faustings. Hey, great. You know, December you do your thing with Christmas, family, do your thing. And it's like, okay, Frosty Faustings is end of January or whatever, right? Okay, cool. You can make time for that. But like yeah, just 2 and 3 weeks later, a month later, 5 weeks, impossible. You're only favoring jerseys once again.
Yep.
Because I mean, even just taking like not even taking like some of the smaller events, right, or the random online tournaments, if we're just talking about like the really big, even the ones just here in NA, as someone that works like a 9 to 5 or 8 to 5, I can't go to all of them. Like I can't go to Frosty Faustings, I can't go to CEO, I can't go to Combo Breaker and Evo, and then like Texas Showdown on top of that, even with that one being in my state. Like I don't have enough PTO. I ain't got the fucking time to travel to every single one, and that's not even including I want to go to Evo Japan one year. Like I want to go out there and I want to compete eventually in Evo Japan. Then I got to do that, and that's going to take a huge chunk of, you know, money and PTO. And then I was like, okay. And then in a couple months, I got Evo. And realistically, for most people, that's most of your PTO, if not like at least more than half. And then now you're left with the option of like, I can go to one more tournament. And for me, it's going to be Texas Showdown. It's here. It's local. I'm trying to be, you know, give support to the Texas FGC scene. That means no combo breaker, no CEO, no Frosty Fausting. So it's just really inconvenient.
You know, one other hope I actually have, and it actually regards to Texas. I wish and hope that this state can get better unified than what it is now. I don't know. I haven't been in the FGC for a long time, like Ice and like Kinsey, but I feel like we are so divided in city. Well, obviously in cities, but like also in mindset. I don't know about you guys, but that's how I feel. Like I feel like we're not as united as we could could be.
I know that a lot of it probably comes from like the older stuff, but like as a newer person to like the FGC, right? Not necessarily fighting games, but at least the FGC like scene.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy how divided people are, even just at Texas Showdown. It's insane. And I'm just like wondering why we're still stuck in that mentality instead of trying to get better as a state.
I mean, I have the answer to that. Give me a second. I have the answer to that. I guess we need to shut this door. 1 second.
Oh, okay.
Texas is divided because for the longest time, Austin, Dallas, San Antonio, Houston, everyone's always had their egos against each city when it came to regionals. But we would work together if it was Showdown, say Absolute Battle or whatever. Everyone would, or what was the one in the old one in Dallas? TIT?
Yeah.
Everyone would come together there. But like, I think when you get a lot of new games, new guard comes in, new egos come into play, and you get a lot of the old guard who just like to play together. Like we may have our grievances at a regional. That's always going to be a thing. It's just you're always going to have in-house rivalries, which is okay.
Right.
But with the new guard coming in and the way the new era of gaming works, everyone's got an ego. No matter if you say, "Hey, man, you know you could work on this, bro." What do you mean I could work on this, bro? I just smoked you like 10-0. Look, I feel you. Great footsies. You could probably work on your DPs. You could probably work on stop losing to me. And then that's where it begins.
Right.
So when you got a lot of people who already just have a disdain for the old guard, you're going to get these people being clicked up. Then to boot, the old guard may or may not like said fighting game, may or may not have enough time to play said fighting game, may or may not like the new scene for a said fighting game. So you put all these factors together and it's kind of like it makes sense. And this isn't just Texas, this is everywhere, especially with online where like, say for example, I don't know, it's happened to me plenty of times. They'll stream snipe me, do something cool, try to make me get raised and get mad, like, look, you see what I did? And it's like, bro, if you're trying to get good, run the set. I have no ego. Sit down, play first to 10. If I win, I win. If I lose, I lose. That's that. I have something to work on now. But not everyone looks at it that way. So with the internet clips and stuff like that, everyone just wants to show how good they are. But when it's time to perform, not everyone can rise to the occasion. That's that, and that's a fact.
Everybody's on clips and views.
Because if you think about it, right, the amount of people that, and this isn't a shot to anyone that does this, I understand this is just social media in 2025, but like a lot of these new kids can't, like, I won't say that the old guard competition was rough, right? But because there's so many new people, like for example, I just probably laugh when I say this, but when I look at it now, people are getting hype about getting top 64. You know, I made top 132 at this. It's like, bro, if it ain't top 16 or top 8, we ain't trying to hear it.
I'm not gonna say it. Like, let's be real, bro. I'm not gonna post on my feed like, damn, I'm top 256 at Evo.
Bro, to sound very going to school in the snow uphill both ways, like they wouldn't even mention your name if you weren't top 3. Like,
right.
Yeah, like you weren't. Like it's like the top 3 and like the number of players.
Yep. Oh man, dude. Yeah. Like so. Oh man, I want so much to say about that. But to keep it brief, like It's just that's where it is with social media. So it's like those who kind of gel with that, they're the ones that are super clicked up, and it kind of like it diminishes how we get good together. So everyone's just online now, so it's just which is a lot more convenient for sure. Saves you gas, saves you time. I'm not gonna lie, never in my life would I ever thought I'd be some online warrior. Not once. If you were to ask me years ago, hey Kev, you gonna be playing online? I'm at the arcade. You tripping? Now?
Oh no, I'm not gonna be online.
Now they've been like, hey, you play Street Fighter 6? Yeah, I'll boot up.
I'll boot up. And now they're gonna be asking you, hey, you trying to go? Nah, bro, I'll just boot it up right here. I'll see you on Discord.
You know, nah, dead ass. Like even now with the local, we do have a local out here in Houston. I just don't go. They're like, why don't you come out and play? I'm like, bruh, to be real with you, right now, and just this is a little off topic, but sort of on. To get to the level where you want to be at now, you actually need a lot of games now. It's not like, oh, I'll go to locals, I'll play for maybe 5 hours. Obviously, you chill, you socialize, whatever, right? You get your sets in, you get to converse, right? But now with the way competition is at every single tournament, it's stiff as all can be. So if you're not playing, and it doesn't mean you need to play 8 hours a day. You need to play a concentrated session or a concentrated set. If you're just going to the bar to hang out, play the games, it's always cool for that social aspect. But if you're looking to like get to that top spot, it will require a bit more of that session. So it really just depends on how serious the session is, if you will.
Right.
So for me, it's like when I play ranked in Street Fighter in particular, I'm just playing, right? But then I'll go to casual match, and if someone want to sit there and replay me, I'll sit there and play them until the sun comes up. They'll come to the stream, hey man, good set. I'm like, they're like, oh, you know, whether they beat me or I beat them, for me it doesn't matter. It's about the information, because in tournament now, if you don't have the matchup knowledge, you can get screwed out by any little thing. Oh, you didn't know that was +3 or +1. Why did I press there? Oh yeah, dude, that's like a whole frame trap setup or space. So if you don't have those knowledge checks out the way from the long sets, it hurts you. Not to mention if you're playing in the local. Let's say your local player pool only plays these said characters, you're cooked when you go to a tournament, because you may have the proficiency against those matchups, but you need to be exposed to different play styles and different players online. So I can go hang out with everyone and chill, or we can go in this lobby and play, and then when we're done, I'm gonna go fight some other people that are not you guys. So there's no amount of different ways to get good now. Before it's like we go to local, we play, these are the matchups, we're good. Can't do that no more. You can't do that no more. You cannot do that no more. It does not work. Like, well, it does, but it doesn't.
Ice, what were you gonna say, Ice?
I was gonna say, yeah, he touched on a lot of things about like the way people gather now. In a lot of ways, it is more convenient to play online, and it's good enough to where like for instance, this weekend there was a local in Dallas, in Fort Worth somewhere. There's no way I was gonna go because I'm with my family and stuff, but I watched it. And I played online a bunch, and then me and EP we played a bunch, and we played like long sets, and I'm getting lots of like sitting my brain in the competition soup for a good number of hours. Whereas if I would have gone to that tournament, there were like Wasulu and Trojan were clearly the two best players there. Everyone else, they weren't bad, but like, you know, they're generally average players. But like on that level, there's only two players there that were
respectfully.
Like,
it's all right. That's right there. Respectfully.
At the top level, and you sit there and you wait, you know, 30 minutes to an hour between matches. You're just sitting there, like just kind of hanging out, which isn't bad, but you have to think about the expenditure of time that you could be doing something else, whether it's getting better, or in my case, I have a family, or like doing whatever. So given the options you have, it's hard to like the way people gather is just very different. And finding ways to get that like solid kind of like group identity is a little harder. You even think about people like in a very general sense about life. Like think about someone who has lived in a specific area their entire life, and that's the only place they live. Those people have a very strong sense of identity. They know everything about who they are and who they're going to be and whatever. But when you open the borders up to where it's like, I've been a lot of places and I've done a lot of things, you start to get a bit of trade-off between this like very strong sense of group, but the group now becomes much larger, more heterogeneous. You're playing people from all over and whatever. So it's just different. I don't think we fully figured that out yet. Like,
Gotcha.
Really,
because I mean, even I've stopped showing up to that Discord's Tekken night, not because I don't enjoy hanging out with them or anything like that, but you know, there's anywhere from 10 to 20, 30 people on any given moment on the evening, and sometimes I'm waiting 10, 15, 20 minutes in between matches, and whereas like I could just hang out and chill and then just go fucking ranked and get 3 times or 4 times as many matches in the same amount of time. So it's just I don't like, I love hanging out with them, but efficiency wise, I'm just like, I'm not getting better. I can't practice the things that I am learning because there's such big gaps unless I'm just constantly winning, which, is to be honest, realistically, in setting with that many players that are higher ranked than you, unless you're just out of this, playing out of your mind for whatever reason, it's not going to happen. So it's just really inefficient, other than like, I just want to play a couple sets with a couple people, have some fun, go back to ranked or go play another fighting game. That's really what it comes down to.
That's it. And I want to add to that. So one thing that I do a lot of, I edit on the late nights. So when I'm editing, I have a stream on the side. Dude, every stream from Japan for Street Fighter is some of the most amazing stuff you'll ever see for a fighting game. What that entails is they're training with each other in custom lobbies. They're training the YouTubers and VTubers in the custom lobbies. There's like 4 setups, and they're just like big old Discord call. Hey, work. They're teaching them. Like, there's this girl. Her name is Betty. She plays pretty high this past Evo with Jury. Mago's teaching her Jury specifics and how to deal with certain anti-airs, deal with certain situations, running the scenario with her in the training room online together. And I'm like, okay, this is crazy. And then they do another event where they get the whole group in and they group learn the character, group learn the situation. I'm just like,
if you could just see imagine what people doing that here.
Bro, there's no one over here doing that shit, or even half of that shit.
And the wild part is then they have these events called the Crazy Raccoon Cup, and all their training goes into that. Because at that point, it's just a talent pool, and the high level players are the coaches for them. They're not the ones actually, some of them playing it, but barring the event. But it's all about them building new rivalries to build the scene, to build, like Street Fighter 6 is like a gigantic freaking anomaly on that side of the world. Like, they love that game. And that player base is 50,000 people strong plus on that tiny ass island. So it's just interesting when you see how they're improving, dude, all right, I'm gonna say this and then I'm gonna shut up, because this needs to be said. It's frustrating because, for example, when I would play Tekken, and I'm pretty sure you remember Vinit, the Lei.
Of course.
He used to tell me in 7, sorry Vinny, I'm gonna cook you here just for a second if you've watched this. He's like, you don't need to practice against Lei. No one plays Lei. And then I go to a tournament and I play Lei Lover 64, who plays Lei only in his basement, and I get cooked by every single setup. It's really frustrating. Or I play, Lei Wulong fan 65212 and ranked, and he just smokes me for free. It's like, it's frustrating because people tell you these things and like, you don't need to practice against this, and then like you go in the rank, you get cooked. You don't fight those characters enough. So that's what I'm saying. Like, when you go online, it's good to find those players, especially if you can get a long set. Again, if it's casual match, I just sit there like, please give me a Blanca, give me a Guile, give me any of these characters so I can like learn how to fight them. I'm tired of fighting JP. I'm tired of fighting Ken. I'm tired. Look, I get it. They're easy to play. I get it. But I need that one guy that's really specialized in that character to just beat me up and show me what I need to learn to beat that. Instead of, here's that one like golden unicorn, I gotta play him in rank 2 out of 3, and he hits me with the most ridiculous setup. Oh, by the way, you could have mashed that out. I didn't know that. How am I supposed to know? There's not filled with like 900 Blancas in rank. Oh well, so that's the other part, finding players who play those matchups, because like if your friend plays Blanca, cool, you can get it, but like if you don't fight those matchups, it makes it very frustrating. So that's another reason why online is like, as I mentioned before, it's just super important right now.
Yep. Yeah. Cool. Speaking of Capcom Pro Tour is in March, right? Is it March?
I think that's when the finals are.
Gotcha. Have you been keeping up with it, Kenzo? I have. I have not.
I'll be honest, I haven't either.
Marvel Rivals.
Marvel
Anybody?
Rivals.
All right.
There it is. There it is. We can move on. There we go. No one's keeping up with it. Not here.
I
anyways.
mean, I keep up with it mostly for Japan. I don't really keep up with it from the NA side, but it's kind of what I expected. It's for what it's worth. It doesn't really change in terms of who's in it each year. There's some new people. It's mostly old faces with maybe like 5 or 6 new faces. So it's not. I'll be real with you and just tell you, it hasn't been very entertaining because you're just not really seeing too much new, to be honest. So, but that's my opinion.
It's like the Patriots, back in the day. That's how you saw.
Hey man, for the powers that be, I'm happy to see. I'll say this, right? So it's not all doom and gloom. For those players who are consistently making it in, and so for those who are also new making it in, that's great. For the consistency part, hey man, keep doing your thing. That's your game. Do your thing. You should be in there. If you work hard, you should be there. So,
Gotcha.
That's how I feel.
Cool.
One thing I wanted to say about our previous conversation a little bit about the level of the average player, because I don't want people to think that I'm shitting on them for being quote unquote average players in the logo. Because of the distribution of the way you play games, and the arcade is always open and there's always some degenerate in there grinding whatever, I definitely feel like the level of the average player is a lot higher now than it was didn't have access to. You can't just like plug your veins into the game at any time of day or night. And for the people who do have lots of discretionary time, a lot of the younger players take a lot of advantage of that. And because of that, the level of the average players is a lot higher than it was back in the day, for sure.
100%.
For sure.
100%.
Oh yeah.
All right, we'll start. We kind of mentioned it a little bit. We were kind of talking about some of the new games that were coming out. Fatal Fury obviously being probably one of the bigger ones, at least for some of us in here. I'm really excited for Fatal Fury. I wasn't the biggest like Fatal Fury guy growing up, but like once kind of like King of Fighters 13 came around is kind of when I started playing them. And so I'm a pretty big fan, so I'm excited to give that one a shot. I don't know how you guys are feeling. I know Jeremy's kind of excited.
Yeah, I'm kind of excited. The only character I really just gonna play is T-Zoc. I mean, of all the characters I play in fighting games, I play wrestler in some. Not
And
all.
some.
two wrestlers in like 2 fighting games. That's it.
I would say for me, like most people don't know this, but like my first fighting game was Fatal Fury, like straight up, because I grew up in Southeast Houston, and that's basically Little Mexico.
Yeah.
So I'm going to where people would go to, like Kroger's. I'm going to Fiesta, and what is in Fiesta grocery store?
SNK
Fatal
machines. Yep.
So I grew up on Fatal Fury 2 and all those games. So like seeing a new Fatal Fury after all these years is really cool. At this point, I'm kind of a fighting game nomad. I'm just jumping from game to game. But like now I can go back where I started. So it's like this is fine for me. It's not that Street Fighter wasn't there with me either, but like Fatal Fury has more sentimental value, just like Guilty Gear. So it's like, oh look, about time. It didn't take you guys like 15 years, but all right, we're here. So for me, like I mentioned earlier, everything seems pretty good for me in that game because SNK with their Pro Tour is starting early. So that's great for me. And then who knows, maybe I'll go to France for the game too, because it's looking good. Like my characters are there. I got Kim Dong-hwan and I got Gato. They just announced him.
Yeah.
I'm good.
2 of my characters are in there. I just need Angel and then we're good.
Oh, no, you ain't gonna get her.
It's not happening. Trust me, I know. I'm aware.
She is KOF only.
Yeah, she's KOF only, and that's fine. As long as she keeps showing up in KOF, I'm not gonna complain. But I always think it's funny. I always think it's funny why like KOF and Fatal Fury and those games even popped off in Mexico, and they just never went away.
I'm happy they did, because I mean it's partially in my blood. You know, I'm South American too, man. I'm Venezuelan, dog. But yeah, I'm happy. I'm definitely happy for that.
So I haven't been following it that much. I watched the trailer again recently, and I'm curious if you have any insights on the system itself, and how they're saying it's going to work, and how that compares to, previous versions or even other games that are out today? Like, how do you have any insights on that since you're a Fatal Fury guy?
Okay, so what they did was the thing that I wish the Guilty Gear did. Take the frame of the first game and add to it.
Right.
Don't take away. They added to it. So it borrows some things from Street Fighter 6. It does have its own little burnout system. There's literally like 4 blocking types. There's regular block, there's just defend, then there's rev guard. You can air block, you can air just defend. There's a lot of defensive mechanics. So they took precautions to be like, hey, if you guys say Fatal Fury does not have any defensive mechanics, you're just, I'm gonna be real, 2025, new year, new me. If you complain about Fatal Fury's defensive mechanics, you're just bad. Right. At that point, I'm gonna just keep it real. Like, you're just bad, because Fatal Fury's always had good defensive mechanics. There's also guard cancel, which allows you to, every other 2D game has like guard canceling of some kind, but it's like a typical alpha counter with a specific move. In Fatal Fury, guard cancels with anything. It could be super, it could be rising tackle, whatever move you want. So you really have to know that character's offense. But what's really neat about the game is, from an offensive side, there's a lot. Every character has this thing called feint canceling. So they feint their special move, and it kind of changes the frame data. So it could be like stand A, stand C as like a frame trap, and you feint cancel that to open up the frame gap again, and be like, you want to press, okay, crouch C. They also have more break canceling with other special moves and other feints, so it makes pressure unique. You can use that to also bait out their defensive mechanics. So there's a lot of back and forth in Fatal Fury games in terms of offense and defense, and it's pretty sick. I'm not gonna lie. I played that at Evo this past year. I played nothing else. If I was not playing Street Fighter 6, I went right back to that booth, and they were like, "You're here again." I'm like, "My time is up." 2XK was right. 2XK was right across the way. I'm like, nope. Right here. This is what I'm saying. So it does punish you though, right? Where it does have a system where you can basically special cancel to special cancel, but if you do that too much, you're going to overheat or overdrive, or we'll just say burnout, and like you can no longer do those things. You don't have access to EX moves either, but you can still play the game normally. So they don't punish you as bad as Street Fighter 6, but you don't get to like destroy your opponent like you would.
Gotcha. And I saw that there's this one thing where there's like a special part of your life bar where certain things are different. What is that about? Can you choose where that is on your life bar too?
Beginning, middle, and end. Okay. And so what ends up happening is you gain access to the SPG move, which basically gives you super armor, but you only have access to it when you have that available. And you can recover that health as well, which I should also mention. Just Defend also recovers a little bit of health. So it's not like Tekken, I'm blocking, I'm getting chipped out, so how do I get my life back? You gotta swing. Nah, in this game, you're getting chipped out, you just defend and get your life back.
Gotcha.
So you can so let's say your SPG gauge is gone, you can just defend and start building it back.
Gotcha.
And I will say this too, because this is also in the old game. That is also matchup specific. It isn't just, you can do it where like, I'm comfortable, I want my main damage. It's like if you could put rage where you want in Tekken, that's what that is.
Right.
That's exactly what it is. Right. So like, I don't like fighting Devil Jin, I'm putting rage right at the start. Screw this guy. I'm fighting, who am I fighting? Kaz? We're gonna put that right at the start.
Right.
Make my footsies hurt.
That's cool. That's really cool.
It's a very strategic, but like what makes me really happy about this game, I'm sorry, I'm kind of gushing here, but it's people finally get to see how tactical of a game Fatal Fury has always been. Because they took away the lane switching. They gave it to Terry in Street Fighter 6, but like in Street Fighter, fireballs were too strong, and SNK knew that. So the character in general, you can side swap and just go outside of that lane. Are you throwing Hadouken? Outside. Come over here, fight me on this side now. And even though you're on that side, you can still attack them for throwing the fireball. So you can sidestep the fireball, they throw the fireball, you attack and go back in lane and then fight them again. So it gave characters who didn't have fireballs a chance to be able to compete instead of just, well, I gotta walk and block, I guess I'll just jump.
Right.
Because like, you know, I mean, if you guys know it, and I'm sure you've seen an arcade guy, Sonic Boom, Sonic Boom, Sonic Boom, Sonic Boom, dude. So Fatal Fury made it so you couldn't have to deal with that. Now they took out the lane swapping, gave the just defense, so now you can walk in JD. It's not like Parry where I have to tap forward and like put myself at risk in Street Fighter. I get to some degree, some people might find it scrubby, but it's like there's still a timing window to it. There is a lockout system if you screw it up in the old games, and I believe it's still in the new game. I think it's like a 3 or 4 frame-ish window to get the proper JD. So it's like, and like I said, even if you don't want a JD, the rev guard is legit like a push block. So if you don't want to deal with rev, if you don't want to deal with that kind of pressure, you can push block at the cost of a little bit of meter.
I am for sure excited for something new to come out. It comes out April
24th.
April 24th, and I will be grinding that game out for a month, at least.
Can't wait.
Obviously we got.
Practicing test.
I'll be watching it.
Oh yeah.
We got obviously. We have when does Virtual Fighter Revo come out? Is it this month or next month?
This month.
Is it this month? Okay.
It's
Yeah,
like the 20th.
I think the 20th, 24th, one and two.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then obviously Virtual Fighter 6 will come out eventually. We don't have a date for it, right?
No
next
date for that.
Yeah, next year probably.
Have you seen the concept video?
Yeah.
And obviously it looks sick.
It's not going to play like that, but it sure
But
did look sick.
It looked sick. I mean, I'll
Fighting
probably
game simulator.
right.
Yeah, very much.
I'll probably end up just buying VF5 Revo and 6. I probably won't play them a whole lot, but I do like Virtual Fighter and what it's like, what the game itself has done, I guess, for the scene. And like, I think it's a really historical, impactful game to keep around. And so I'm going to continue to support it because I like seeing it around. Like, I may not enjoy playing it that much, or I may not even play it all that much to begin with, but I will watch it and will continue to support it. So I'm excited for it.
Virtual Fighter is like one of the first 3D games I've played. I gravitated straight to Wolf Hawkfield because wrestler, why not? You know what I mean? Giant swing, ring out, done. All right,
How did you not play King?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro.
I don't know, man.
He's out here playing T-Lock and him, and
play defense as King. With Yoshi, he doesn't have to block. He can just flash or spin or do some shit. He doesn't want to have to think on defense.
he sits on the ground, teleports away. Like he doesn't.
You want me to think? No, man. No, I'm good. Thank you.
He's making us think.
Fair enough.
2XKO. I guess it's gonna come out this year, probably. I don't believe it.
He's still. I remember we had a whole discussion, Ice, where we were going over the beta and we were talking about it. Obviously, Kenzo heard that whole discussion. He has no faith that this game will come out this year, and if it does, it's not going to be good.
Really?
That's what he says.
I need to see a whole lot more than
he said. From what he got from the beta, it was nowhere close to being done.
No, I agree.
It's not. But I'm like, I think with the amount of time they've given, and like, I think their release date is like mid. Did they say summer, late spring? I can't remember what they said was going to be coming out this year. I think it'll be fine, but Jeremy has no faith.
Look from the 4 characters that they've shown, and like 5 characters that they've shown.
They've shown more, but in the beta it was like 4 or 5.
Yeah,
I don't know, man. It just didn't feel good to me.
I'll say I know who's working on it, right? There are a lot of the old school FGC heads.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that could seem questionable for some is their new battle director. That's the one thing I could probably see as kind of questionable, because I feel like most people, they don't really know them, but like I feel like if they know that this person was a legacy FGC head at the helm, they'll probably feel a bit more confident, or maybe it's just me. But I don't blame Jeremy at all. I think that they have a good team, but the problem with this is because it's Riot, there's a lot of like, I feel like this is the only project that they haven't gotten right. And by that I mean, just to give you a little bit of lore on it, if you guys didn't know about it, they had, it was known as Project L. There's also Project A, Project something else, one of the whatever letter it was. But that was the project phase, right?
Right.
And what that entailed was Valorant, Teamfight Tactics, and the other one, Legends of Runeterra, right? So if I don't get that right, so the card game, the auto battler, and all that stuff, right? They got all those games out. This is the last one, and they've been working on this since 2018, 2019-ish, somewhere in that ballpark. And that game has seen many different forms. Like, there's rumors of it was a platform fighter. We've seen the footage of it being a one-on-one fighter. Now it's a 2-on-2 fighter. There was rumors there was a 3-on-3 version. Now they finally settled on this one, but at that point, with all that testing and different versions of the game, now this is why Jeremy's not confident, because if they've gone through this many versions of said title with this many different engines, or same engine, different build, but then they can't settle on anything, then that means the game is in dev hell. At that stage.
It's definitely in that stage. I feel like.
And this build that they gave us is a build for, they say it's Alpha Labs. If you want to get real with it, I think that's what they were going to give us at first. But because people only played it in short bursts at Evo and trade shows, or events, whatever, no one had enough time to really just sit down and iron it out. And when people got a chance to do that, the reception just flopped right on its head. And everyone's just like, oh no, something ain't right. And you got a lot of people who, like me, who like see these mechanics and see like, oh, there's this like Marvel 2 mechanics, but there's also Guilty Gear mechanics, mostly Guilty Gear mechanics. So it's like, some things aren't standard. Like, why is DHC not standard? Oh, the damage is too high. I don't know. It's like they're trying to take, it's like, imagine Tekken having grooves, right? And it's like, in this groove, you only get footsies. In this groove, you get launches and juggles. In this groove, you get supers. And in this groove, you get only freaking rage arts. In this groove, you only get, these moves. So, like, imagine, I don't know which place to put my kit. And you're making people decide when you can just make a big game. Just... what they're trying to do is make it so that you can pick and choose these mechanics and focus on these. But when you play in the 2v2 aspect, like one of those fuses was like auto combos, but that screws up your teammate because they don't play with that. So that's why I'm like, why not just make a holistic game instead of trying to piecemeal this? Oh, your new friend can't hit combos. He's mashing 1, 2, 3. You need to do more. Right, and at that regard, or make it to where the fuses only work for like per player. But once again, I'm at 100% agreement with Jeremy. Like there's just
like
too
they're
much.
It's like they're mashing too many mechanics in so much time, and there's only so much resources you have.
And they keep adding people to their roster to make the game, but like I said, it's just taking Tekken. And we're gonna break this down and break this down so you can only pick these things. So it's like it's almost like playing your character in half. And I don't think that's a good. It's like the variations from MK. Like it's cool.
I was just about to say that. I was just about to say that. It sounds like variations in MK where certain characters can play completely differently based on the variations. They try to do that a little bit with freaking Street Fighter Cross Tekken and gems, and certain gems give you power ups and all that shit.
Yeah, it's.
I remember buying that game day one, returning it a week later. Didn't tell you.
I'll just say the build that they gave us, that was not the one we should have played. The one that they had at Evo the year before it came out, that build was fire. Just take away the gems, the game was fire. So many cool mechanics. But at the end of the day, just to shorten it out, just 2XKO, whenever it comes out, the real deal is going to boil down to Riot's marketing initiative for the game. Because most people don't... Riot's really good at marketing stuff. So when they get to that part of the initiative for the game, we'll see how people feel about it. But for me, it's like when it comes out, it comes out. I'm not... Fatal Fury is right there. Because at this stage, I mean, this is a meme, but I mean it. If Virtua Fighter 6 comes out before 2XKO, that game's cooked at that point. Like, forget it. Like, it's cooked. Sure, people will play it, but like, let's be real. Like, Hunter x Hunter, which is on this thing here next, is going to be out. People are already playing City of the Wolves. Tekken still, like, the games that are already going to be going strong are already going strong, and like the hype now for the game's gonna die down. We're gonna do alpha labs again and let us try another build of the game that's not done. Screw it, I'm gonna just say it. When I was at Evo and I was playing City of the Wolves, even in that stage, it felt like a complete game in comparison to what was on the other side of that show floor. Even when I played the game again in my own home, after a while, it's like Fatal Fury just feels better. Like, and I don't mean like, oh, the game sucks. It's just I can feel the polish on the game. This still feels like you guys wanted to give us this. You guys wanted to. Y'all thought y'all were cooking so hard in that kitchen. Like, yo, we got it. We got the ease of access. We're gonna get new players to understand everything. And even in my videos, they're like, this game is hard, and I'm like, because you're trying to take a big game and split it up. Stop fragmenting stuff. So, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. That's all I can say.
Ice, what about you? Got any thoughts on any of these games coming out?
The 2XKO conversation, I think, is. So I've always kind of had this, I don't know, fantasy in my mind of a game that unifies everyone. Like, people from all over will play this one game, and it's going to be like the hugest thing that breaks fighting games out of the niche, as it were. And I legitimately thought that Street Fighter Cross Tekken was the one before it came out, of course. And then I started to get those kind of vibes for this game too, just because, again, like the Riot kind of like monolith and the huge IP it has with the league and the huge number of followers, the fact that it crosses over into more quote unquote mainstream esports, and people will be like, oh yeah, I'm a top gamer. Some guy that plays League that says no matter how old I am, I'm gonna cook you in whatever game. Those types of people are all going to converge on this game, and it's going to be, the biggest thing since the arcade cabinet was invented. And I think because of that fantasy I have a lot of hope for this game. I'm not even going to play it, to be honest. Like, I'm not going to play the shit. Like, I'm going to learn it because it's in the realm of things that I'm passionate about. But I love Tekken. I've more than come to grips with the fact that I'm a Namco guy, born and raised kind of thing, who dabbles in NK here and there. But like, I'm gonna play Tekken. I'll play Soul Calibur. It comes out. This other shit, I'm just gonna kind of dabble in. But I just feel like I personally want fighting games to be a like tier 1 competitive endeavor. I feel like fighting games are the purest expression of competition. Me versus you. I will kill you or you will kill me. Like, there's nothing more visceral about the human condition that fighting games kind of like puts into the world. And so I think as we're talking about this, it's like deep in my brainstem, my hopes for the fighting game as a genre to rise up is probably part of the reasons why I hope so greatly for this game. So yeah.
Gotcha.
I guess we can go on to, I mean, we already mentioned it, Hunter x Hunter and Impact. I haven't looked at a lot of it, to be honest. I know there was like an event for it was it at Evo?
It was
where they had the streamers play, and I watched Diaphone up on stage with, was it Justin Wong?
Yeah, it was Justin.
Yeah, Justin. And the game looks cool, but like, I don't know. I'm sure the game is fine. I'm sure the game will probably do really well, especially with the way that it was looking. I haven't played it personally, so I don't know how it feels. But I've always been kind of off-put by like games that are like specifically tied to like a single IP like that. And it's like not anything to do with like Hunter x Hunter itself or anything like that. It's just like a personal gripe. So I probably won't play it, but I hope it does well.
I'll just say they almost released that game without rollback.
Did they actually?
That's why they pushed it back.
That's
it
tragic.
it was supposed to come out in October.
Oh,
That's crazy.
that's real tragic.
In
there.
this day and age,
to put it in.
In this day and age, they were trying to release that shit without rollback. That's wild.
The crazy part is ArcSys is their publisher.
Ooh.
But that's neither here nor there. I much like 2XKO and anything else. I'm with Ice. Like I just want at the end of the day, like even though like I have the things that I want to play, I always want the scene to grow. Like it should be a tier 1. We should be respected. We should have. I mean, the money's coming and all that stuff like that, right? But like more importantly is like we should be on the show floor, just like a Marvel Rivals, a Valorant, a League of Legends. We should be right there. It's gonna take a lot, but we're getting there. So
I've always just found it wild that even to this day we're not. When I still, just like Ice, I completely agree. I find it to be the purest and most exciting form of competition in video games, and it's not close. And like realistically speaking, I'm pretty sure Sagem even has a video about it. When it comes down to it, bro, the amount of effort, amount of learning and difficulty to reach pro in those games, or like even in fighting games, right, isn't like inherently that much harder to do it in those games either. So the fact that we're just so much smaller because of the fake impression that fighting games are just more difficult has always been just so baffling to me. Because if anyone took the time to just even learn and pick it up, and you don't have to play on a stick, you can play on your keyboard, you can play on an Xbox controller, a PS5 controller, and you just took even a little bit of time, just like you did with League of Legends, just like you motherfuckers are doing in CSGO, learning fucking smoke lineups in Valorant. It's the exact same shit. You took even 30 minutes to look at a fighting game and give it a shot. It's not that hard. It's just practice.
Yep.
I'll just tell you this. That's a whole podcast in itself.
But yeah, it really is. It really is. Just so we're not here forever, because as much as I do enjoy talking to y'all, we do tend to go on a little long, especially when our boy Ice Cold is around.
I realized the last one I realized we talk forever, and I think this is my fault. I think I can do it.
No.
It's not your fault. It's all of us. God. But like, just to try to keep it down, hopefully to keep this episode under 3 hours, we'll go to what Jeremy lovingly called our soapbox. So to keep it kind of hopeful, what would be some games you'd like to see either return, get a new iteration of, maybe even get like a collection of sorts, or anything like that? I'll go ahead and let y'all go first. I'm gonna advocate for one of these fighting games for the 100th time on this podcast later. So if one of y'all wants to go first.
So real quick, let me get to this soapbox thing. Can we please have more than one 3D fighter on the main stage at Evo? There are so many out there that could be placed up there if they just give the chance just to shine. At least 1 year. I understand this is a 2D world. I understand this is a Capcom world. I understand. But please, give me something else other to watch than Tekken, MK, and then go to Gordon Ramsay Steakhouse, okay?
Right.
Please. Speaking of Gordon Ramsay, Ice, I had a 5 steak at Gordon Ramsay last year. That shit was fantastic.
It's actually really funny because like as much as I like prefer Tekken as far as the 3D games go, my first 3D game was Soul Calibur. It was the very first one at an arcade.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, this shit's kind of cool. And then I got Tekken 3 for the PS1, and I never went back until Soul Calibur 2. But like, that's neither here nor there.
But other than that, give me a Soul Calibur 7. Give me a new listen. Konami.
I'll take a DOA.
Please sell this Bloody Roar IP. You don't need it. Just sell it to someone else. Please. You're not doing anything with it. You're just making
you don't know, dude. Out back they got the Bloody Roar pachinko machines. They're fucking raking in the money.
No, we don't need pachinko machines, bro. No, just sell it to someone else, please.
I'm gonna let y'all go. Because I have words.
I'm truly a Namco guy. I would love to see a Soul Calibur 7. I think Soul Calibur 6 is like a super underexplored game.
Right.
It sold well. It was super fun to play. I just don't know what happened. Like, I don't know what happened. So of course I would play Soul Calibur 7. Soul Calibur 6 was the most fun I'd had with Soul Calibur since I don't know when.
It's actually funny. What was it like 3-4 months ago? I bought the game on sale finally, and Bro, if I'm part of the problem, I'm sorry, Bamco. I'll buy it day one next time. That game is so much fun, even for someone that had no idea and hasn't played a Soul Calibur since 4. It's the most fun I've ever had on Soul Calibur, and I love that game.
It's sick. It's super oppressive, and there's some things in there. It's like, bro, it's rough. It's a rough game, but I still think that it kind of prematurely shut down. I don't really get that. But before I give my turn away, I have to say this. Even as a 3D Namco person, I feel like there's a huge hole in the fighting game community without an active Marvel game. And so I really miss I miss the days of MVC2. I miss the days of MVC3. Even like there's this like mini MVCI resurgence going on with this patch, and like you can download it.
Max's mod.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's fire, by the way.
It is fire.
I miss the essence of everything that is Marvel. 100%.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in the same boat. I wish we'd have another one coming around, or even as part of, I put it on there as part of another one. I'd love to see another CVS game. I think crossover games like that are so much fun, whether it's Marvel or Capcom versus SNK. I'd love to see either one. Once again, I'd just like, Jeremy was screaming at Konami. I'd love another Bloody Roar. I didn't even know what Bloody Roar was, but I played it as a kid. And that shit was fucking sick once I found out what it was. And I'm kind of upset that we don't have them anymore. For the 150th time, Capcom, I want another Darkstalkers, please. It's probably never going to happen, but I would love to see another Darkstalkers. And then as far as 3D games, if we can't have another Soul Calibur, can I at least get Dead or Alive? I like those games. I mean, I didn't like 6, but Dead or Alive 5 is still pretty sick.
I just miss the DOA people. Like I miss the characters.
I love the characters.
I miss like fucking Carl and Tom Brady and like Offbeat Ninja Master. Like these dudes are clowns, and I miss like the interaction between them. So I would love that, just to see that community, to see those. And people.
If DOA comes back, please go back to older DOA, not whatever 7 or even 6 was trying, or 6. Whatever 6 was trying to be. I want more like DOA 2, 3, 4. That's what I consider peak DOA. I'd like that if we're coming back to DOA. If all we get is another Extreme Volleyball, I'll take that as like compensation.
All right. So from what I see on the list here, there's a few things I'm gonna say, and I'll try to keep it brief. Darkstalkers, I'm gonna start there. I've already accepted that that's cooked.
Yeah, it's I'm just screaming for my own copium, but I'm in the same boat. I've accepted that Capcom will never make another one.
So I know another Darkstalkers won't be made because they started actually working on it somewhere in between Cross Tekken, and they just dropped it.
And they dropped it.
Because they
even had like a trailer and everything. It was great. I was so excited, and then that died, and that's where my childhood dread to, I think.
DOA 7, I know it's coming because there's a new Ninja Gaiden game, so it's on its way at some point.
I forgot about that.
Wait, there is a new Ninja Gaiden game?
I forgot there is. Yes, there is.
It's gonna be on Souls-like.
The return of DOA Master. You heard it.
So there's a high chance of that. Soul Calibur.
I think that one's that one's kind of cooked. I'll be real.
That one's with Darkstalker just cooked. Harada already explained that. He already explained it.
He went into it.
I will say I'm sad about that because personal opinion. I mean, you guys know me, especially I play ninjas in like every game. Taki is one of the most well-designed ninjas in any fighting game.
She is my favorite ninja in any fighting game.
Right.
And for what it's worth, as you mentioned, Soul Calibur 3, I think that's the best Soul Calibur game free. I think 2 is great for what it is. I like the craziness of 2, but like the characters in 3, the stun combos. Now, granted, there's like 3 different versions of that game, in case you didn't know that.
Right.
There's the American, the Korean rebalance, and then there's the Japan rebalance, and then there's Soul Calibur 3 Arcade, which is like completely...
It's completely different.
Yeah, it's way different.
Yeah. So
Sig 3 was much better than Arcade Edition.
Yes.
I only played the Arcade Edition, funnily enough.
Was that the one on PS2? The arcade version, or
No,
what was one that came to?
It was a
Say again?
cabinet.
Yeah.
It's cab only.
Gotcha.
So yeah,
We had one in Dallas.
We did.
Oh wow.
That's
Yeah.
that's okay. That's the only way. That was the only way I played Soul Calibur 3 for whatever reason. I was like, damn, this game's sick. I'm kind of glad I didn't go and buy it for console because it would not have been anywhere close to the same.
Well, the characters still share a lot of the same stuff. There's some nerfs and buffs.
Mm-hmm.
The character that blew my mind in Arcade Edition, Amy. That character was she was good on the console port, but arcade, night and day. Way crazier character. But Bloody Roar, yes. Yeah. I put it in my veins. I grew up on it as a kid. Bloody Roar 2 and 3, especially 3. Yes. KI, I'm sure. I mean, KI should be at Evo anyway, in my honest opinion, because they did do a big update for it, and I'm not sure why. No word on Street Fighter EX. Melty Blood, cool. Bushido Blade, no thank you. CVS 3. I'm just gonna be the guy to tell you it's on its way.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're paying attention, you're looking at everything they're doing. It's pretty much all but confirmed that it's coming, and it's just more like I'm hopeful for it, and I just hope it's sick. Because I mean, like, let's be real, CVS 2 is still one of my favorite games growing up. Even as someone that was just a button masher, the groove system was still fun. So it's, like I said, it's pretty much all but confirmed, but it's still nice to hope for it, because you never know.
Yeah, like, I'll just say, like, I think that's one of the few games that can unite the FGC, personally.
Oh, 100%.
Because the reality is, as someone that plays SNK games, and especially KOF, right? Seeing how people say how much they don't like KOF, it's too hard, gotta learn 3 characters, and you see them on Fightcade playing CVS 2. It's like...
Playing CVS 2, MVC 2, it's crazy.
Make it make sense, Yeah,
make it make sense. The only thing that I want that's not on this list would be a Rival Schools. Personal opinion.
Oh, we forgot about Rival Schools when we were writing that up. You're right. That'd be sick.
Because
that would be sick.
So many people love the characters that, like, it makes sense.
Yeah.
That's one of the few sleeper projects I think Capcom's gonna bring back. Personally, I think that's gonna come before Darkstalkers.
It'll probably come before Darkstalkers. Because the characters of Rival Schools are sick. I'm a big fan of it. The only reason I even put Street Fighter EX on there, let's be real, that's probably never going to happen. I just personally have like a soft spot for the EX games because I grew up playing them. But I also think as far as like Street Fighter music goes, like sure, Street Fighter 2 is like iconic themes and stuff. Like that's when you get like the Guile theme and stuff. I think the EX series has the best soundtracks for any of the Street Fighters.
I have something for you for that. Remove that game and just put Fighting EX Slayer because that's basically the same game.
Yeah, it's the same game. Yeah. And I would like to honestly, I wish that game was bigger than it is. It's underappreciated.
No words for that other than Arika's working with SNK, but that's neither here nor there.
Right.
Just other than that, like MKX remake.
Look, I put that on there as a joke, but please, just make a good MKX game.
We were talking about this, about how MKX, the end of MKXL was like the height of Mortal Kombat in the modern era. Once they went to 11 and MK1, it was basically downhill from there. So I agree with that.
Yeah.
I'll just say, I don't want MK to die.
No.
Just make another game like MKX. Like people, I'm gonna just be real with you. I always hear this talk about footsies and MK, and then they talk about footsies and MKX, and I'm like, look, let's just face facts. None of you motherfuckers want to play neutral. You want to run and start shit up.
You just want to, just start throwing hands immediately.
Let's just keep it a
hands immediately,
Like, because Ian Scar is super cool. When I watched him stream that game, and he's like the best Triborg in that game, but there in particular, when I watched him play Jason, it'd be like, round 1, fight. Snaps his neck, and then all kinds of crazy stuff starts to happen. I'm like, so you snap your neck, and then like characters start to die.
Yeah.
Okay, you just run in the face. So it's just do one, let's rock, and you run in the face. So I'm like, just cut the crap about neutral, wanting to play douche and playing real footsies with down one. Just face facts.
No one in MK wants to.
Hell, I'm willing to bet if they didn't have a run meter, you would just mash run. Just accept your fate. You want to start shit up. You don't want to play neutral. You want, like, for what it's worth, I think MKX to me was PMK because you got to see, in my honest opinion, what MKX to me is. That's the evolution of Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 to me.
Bro, that game was so fast, dude.
That game was
so
insane.
Go watch the Evo finals because in doing videos, I looked that stuff up, and like when I saw how fast Kung Lao was moving with when Foxy was playing, Sonic playing Katana and all that stuff, I'm like, this game is kind of fire. Hold on, this game was really good.
No, they were cooking and people didn't appreciate it back then.
I have nightmares of Reptile in my head because of ice. You know, just
you gonna eat this safe overhead launcher.
And for me, just to harp on it, and I'm gonna be quiet again. My favorite addition to that game was 2 characters. Even though she was broke, give me back my 1.0 Tanya and Predator. Oh my
god, what
that
the fuck?
was nonsense.
That was an anime character in MK.
That was an insane character.
Yeah, the one where she had the air dash with the air fireballs. Oh, y'all sure you want this in this game? Okay, I was playing.
I didn't realize we had a Kuma with crack in this game, dude. That shit is crazy.
I was playing Ronin Takeda for a bit because there's a lot of Guilty Gear stuff with Bridget and the whole recall stuff with the saber, and this was cool and all. Then I'm like, Tanya, you're looking kind of fine over there, girlfriend. What's going on? And then Predator with, was it Hish-Q10 with the cool dash cancels? Hell, I even played A-List Johnny. Like, there's so many cool variations of characters in the game. I was like, this game is fire. Y'all need to do more of this. Like, whatever this is with this, like, we're taking it back to footsies, drop that shit. Just, look, let me run, let me move, let people... Look. Because part of what made that game really great to me, again, I gotta shut up. The freedom of expression with movement. What people don't understand is like mobility lets players express themselves on top of the game's options. So it's like, I'll run in your face and then block. Oh, look at you. You tried to do something fresh. All right, now I'm gonna kill you for it. And then you choose to use your breaker, etc., etc. Like the whole meta game of running and using your jumps. It's just, the game is such a big sandbox when you really look at it as a whole, that it's like, I don't think MKX is fully discovered even as we speak now. Because that's how we found Ninja Killer, right? They're like, man, Flame Fist Liu Kang is still strong? Nah, that's the brokest shit in the game. For real? You start blocking? Where's my life going? I didn't even get hit.
It's actually funny, before you joined the call, when we were just waiting for you, we were actually having a whole discussion on why, like, even though I'm the best at Tekken, I still prefer like anime fighters and like SNK or tag fighters, because of the mobility in those games versus like Street Fighter and Tekken. Like, again, Street Fighter is my least favorite when it comes to actually playing it, and it's not because of how the game plays or anything, but it takes a lot to get used to like the slower movement if you're playing all these other games, and for me it doesn't feel as natural. And again, that's a personal thing, but like that's why I'm a huge fan of like anime fighters. Like, I can sit here and just get my ass beat even if I don't win a single round. I can sit here and get my ass beat in Uni and Melty Blood all goddamn day. I'm having the time of my life. Because the movement does a lot for you.
That's why I'm jealous of Tekken players.
Yeah.
You guys still get to keep your movement. Guilty Gear, like, dude, they gutted our movement so bad.
Yeah, it's not anywhere close.
But yeah, regardless, that's definitely my soapbox.
Gotcha.
Do you have any other ones out there? Ice Cold, you got any other random soapbox entries?
No. I think I stand on my soapbox throughout the time of this thing. I think I'm good.
I think that's fair. And we kind of mentioned it already, so we don't have to go over that one. Like the Evo Awards that are coming up, we don't even really know what that's going to entail. Again, I think it's kind of cool. Have, notable figures in the FGC getting their proper, what is the word?
Flowers.
Their whatever you want to call it.
Getting paid their dues, if you
Getting
will.
paid their dues, getting recognized. It just depends on kind of who they're choosing to recognize, and the awards themselves that'll probably dictate how this award show is going to be seen from outside eyes. Is it going to be kind of like the video game awards where it's very sponsor heavy, kind of not even taken seriously? Or is it something that's going to be proper respect towards these older players and older FGC heads? Because I feel like if a lot of those guys aren't being recognized at this type of awards, then why are we doing it? If we're just kind of...
Still waiting on mine.
Yeah. So if we're just recognizing like active players type shit and that's it, then I was like, why are we even wasting our time?
Yeah, I think that there is like a need for like preservation of history and like appreciating people who've done this for years and years and years and like and stuff like that. And it's something that we haven't had historically. I mean, it's a grassroots community kind of built from nothing, and there hasn't been a framework or ability to do that. So I think there is a need for it. But I'm very curious about how they're gonna like go about doing it. Like this is kind of like a top-down thing to honor something that came from grassroots. So like, and it's in February. So is it open invite? Like how do they decide what they're gonna,
no idea.
honor?
What they intended to do with it is kind of like not to cut you off. I think what they wanted to do for it is like the like an online show.
Yeah.
As opposed to just being in person. Yeah, kind of like a Gamescom or it's like watching the Game Awards from home, but everything's just done online.
Right.
Why would they name a city if it's going to be primarily virtual? Why is it like an Evo?
Oh, I'm assuming it's going to be like because it is like an award show, it'll have like a small audience. Like it'll still be at a venue, I feel like, but it'll be like the Game Awards where they'll have an audience, and like obviously I think if you're nominated or your awards, obviously you're being contacted ahead of time. I hope that these people are going to have the chance to be there to either accept it in person or they can do it online, whatever the case may be, because obviously some people are in the Middle East, France, Japan, Korea, so I don't know.
Like even the name of awards, like what are you gonna do? Like tournament organizer of the year or
that's only gonna go to so many people at this point because we have a bunch of TOs as it is. So I don't know. I'll just say I have my personal reservations about it. Just because of the current shift of how the FGC is in terms of for lack of a better term, investing in clout coin. So yeah, I'm just gonna watch and see what the powers that be do with this, because they did it already this year at this past Evo where they gave out awards like Sherry Jennings got an award, I think Justin Bailey got an award, Justin got an award. It's like okay, I'm gonna just keep it raw. Okay, there's more than that out there, there's a lot of people out here doing work. We know that they are gonna get something. Who is this? So to me, it's like, who is this really for?
Right.
Yeah.
So,
and is it just gonna be pro players? Are you gonna are you guys including like the YouTubers, Twitch streamers that are part of the FGC as well that are notable names? Like someone like Maximilian, dude, is he gonna get recognized?
Alan, keep in mind at the Streamer Awards. Or whatever it was.
Yeah, it was the Streamer Awards.
Was announced. As a nominee for top fighting game streamer. Yet there's all these players that play these games for real. And it's no diss to Lily Pichu, but it's like for real.
She's not an FGC
for
man.
Real. She does one Sage Jam Slam and she's nominated for she did two, right? But it's like, come on, man, like. What's the criteria for this? Because there's a lot of players that grind on that on that platform. But I digress.
Right.
I actually want to say something.
Yeah, I was gonna say what I would like to see would be either statewide or regional like rings of honor, like something like that, where you talk about like some of these people that were at the top of the mountain before there was Twitch and YouTube and like these huge platforms that kind of get washed over by the sands of time. Like the person that first comes to mind is somebody like Job. Like Job is like one of the greatest gamers I've ever seen in real life and played. Like he is phenomenal.
That guy's ridiculous.
He's so ridiculous. And it's like I'm talking about like fucking Bill Russell or James Naismith or somebody who never touched a game, who touched a game like when they were in black and white or something. Like people like that, like EP, Gen Kid, even like Crow. Like Crow's like repeat Evo champion. Like there are people that were at the heights of heights that just you don't really know about. Like there are people right now who have no idea what the fucking House of Goons is. Like, and that's insane. That's insane.
Maybe we should get EP on here.
And so there's just a lot of people in a lot of different areas that were really foundational to making this what it is. And like as it's kind of transitioning into this new thing, I wish there was a way to really like honor those people, because we spent our lives doing this.
I agree.
And so yeah, that's what I would really want. I don't know, the Evo Awards will be much short living to that ideal, but that's what I feel like there's a need for it for sure.
I agree with that 100%.
So I mean, we're gonna watch optimistically, but I guess we'll see once it's actually happening what we end up getting, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we also have the announcement show. Is it this Tuesday?
It's this Tuesday.
This Tuesday. In case y'all didn't know, unfortunately, there's a lot of rumors going around that it got leaked. Unfortunately, we're not going to talk about that here.
We're not
going to touch it. Just for now, just watch. Just move on. All right. I guess that's all I got to say. I didn't see the tweet, thankfully. I didn't see what was leaked out or whatever, but I don't know if y'all did. So other than, we'll move on past that in case y'all have seen it. What do you guys hope for those that did go, changes for Evo or things you witnessed from the outside, while either watching the streams or, I know it's a big topic for some.
I'm going to go first on that one.
Yeah, go for it.
Go for it.
I cannot watch finals.
Yeah.
There's no reason for me to be lined up all the way outside of the convention center to get into finals.
120 degrees outside, player.
Like, you've got to be tweaking. Like, the venue itself is great, but like, I'm not gonna hold you. I almost feel like the Mandalay was a bit better, because I do feel like, yeah, Evo's grown, but I feel like the Mandalay can facilitate what they already had there. But I get it. They also don't want you to. It's weird. Like, they didn't want us to pay for the venue for the Mandalay to go watch it in the arena, but still added the fee on. So you tack this fee on. I can't get it back, and I have to watch out here with Maximilian and them. Now, don't get me wrong. It was cool, right? RDC World was doing their thing too. There were a lot of screens you can just watch, but it's like, there's
a difference between getting to do that stuff with them if you choose, versus
right,
like being forced to because there's no space to get it.
Yeah.
Dude.
And on top of people taking chairs from casual stations too, bro.
Oh.
Out of control.
That was nuts. And then to top it off, when you would go out to try to use the bathroom, when you left your chair, they would fill your seat.
Yeah.
So that's not cool. So that has to go. I'm gonna do wishful thinking. Please go PC. It'll never happen because Sony. But I'm about tired of fighting, dude. 2 Evos in a row, I had controller issues because of that damn PS5. And this past one, like, my controller was moving on its own. I had to forfeit a round.
Oh my
God.
No.
And so it's just not gonna happen, dude.
And it happened to me twice. And I promise you, people were like, "Yo, you're just bugging. It's nah, it's not the PS5. It's your controller."
Nah,
all
it's
right,
the
so
PS5.
Badass Japanese player Nemo gets on stage for top 8 qualifier, right? He's in the top 8, right? He has to forfeit a whole freaking game and went through 5 different sticks on stage. Don't tell me. I watched this each stream. He has no problem with his controller when he's playing, but he goes to Evo and all of a sudden, his controller got messed up on the flight. Bullshit. Anyone who's worth their salt at that caliber of play is making sure that their stick or controller it's safe. So I'm not trying to hear that, So, but I know PS5 is always going to be there, but
I mean, that's the only reason I even use, like, the stick that I play on, and it's just what I use to travel, is the Razer Kitsune. Just try to minimize as many problems as possible because it's light, it's small, and it connects to a PS5. That's the only reason I use it. My mix box has been sitting in my drawer untouched. My other stick has just been sitting there untouched. Because I plan to travel, I gotta use that.
Bro, only PS5 native, must be PS5 native.
Yeah.
I will not play.
I will not run that risk.
I just because there's a lot of ways to get like cheap controllers now, especially leverless controllers. It's something. And my boys, they're like, oh, you need to go get this Hot 42 or whatever. All you need is this like little dongle or whatever. I'm like, bro, I'm not dealing with that. Nope,
No,
not putting my equipment on the line
I was
because of
like,
that.
I'm paying $300 for that security and safety.
I want it to just work.
Yep.
Just work. So PS5 native, it'd be
There
nice
it
to
is.
travel with.
Same dongle. When I bought it, they're like, oh, it's PS5 native. I'm like, okay, cool. Oh, by the way, it times out after 8 minutes. At Evo, mind you. Oh, by the way. Oh, yeah, one of my buttons broke off.
Oh, your buttons
Fantastic.
broke.
Oh no.
So,
I haven't had that issue yet, thankfully.
this controller was like $100. I almost frisbeed this at Evo. I was that mad because I'm like, I did not come here for a second year in a row to lose like that, because I play with Street Fighter, so I have the bottom button down here for parry. So I'm comfortable with it, and I brought my Kitsune with me. I lost my next match because my muscle memory's not there.
It's not there. Yeah.
So I'm gonna frisbee this after this conversation.
I'm fucking done.
Real quick. My hopes is the same thing as Kensor. Really, give us more room for finals. Like, I don't know how else to say this. I don't want to stand outside in the 120-degree heat just to get inside the building, just to not sit inside the main stage.
Right.
Really bad.
It's kind of hot out there, It's gonna be first week in the August. It's gonna be hella hot out there.
It's gonna be so hot.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Ice, what you got?
Yeah, I think I echo everybody else's. Like, to me, aside from the thing with the finals, this last Evo was the most fun I had at Evo since pre-COVID. So I really enjoyed that. I do think that if you're gonna make someone pay an extra $100, you better damn well make sure they can get into finals. Like, that's crazy. But so I hope they solve that. Other than that, I'm fine with where it is. I think the venue's fine. If you stay at Resorts World, you can take the loop tunnel under there. You don't have to walk outside. Super nice. And that's really like my main hope for Evo. Like, they just need to solve the finals thing, and I think it'll be fine.
And because I was about to say I didn't get to go this year because I didn't have enough PTO. But I watched it from home and I watched it through Max. I pretty much only watched Max all the way through unless he was doing like an event. Then I watched it through other people's streams or just the official stream. But it seemed like, at least from the outside, the finals was the biggest issue. And then I don't know why this was even an issue, the whole taking seats from casuals. I feel like that was just a lack of respect on the people. I feel like even if I'm there, right, like I see people are clearly at the casual setups and there's chairs specifically over there, I'm not touching them. They're not for sitting, whatever the case may be.
I'll speak on that real quick.
Yeah.
If this was any other tournament, it'd be the same. Like, no one wants to sit on the floor. It just so happens that these are the chairs that are closer to the screens.
Yeah.
All the casual stations on the innards, they were there for the most part.
Oh, okay.
So it's mostly those that was near the screens. But other than that, carry on. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because like I said, I didn't see it, so I didn't know how bad it was. I just heard that was an issue, and so yeah, just from that, it was mostly just the final stuff. I mean, everything else has been great. At least, even just watching at home, I felt like I wasn't missing anything. Obviously, other than like the things that are on the venue floor, like the games you can play and stuff like that. Obviously, I can't do that stuff. But as far as like all the games, I mean, these guys pretty much got it down at this point. They got like 15 different streams going on at once. And as long as a game was going on, I had a chance to watch it.
Yeah. Would you be okay if they separated the venue from the finals?
I would be okay with it. I like the idea of being able to still play casuals on the finals day if I choose.
Yeah.
But I would be okay either way, because I'm gonna figure out a way to make the most of my time, kind of regardless.
Right.
I did want to say, Jeremy, I don't know if people know this who hang out with me at Evo. You were the person who got me into doing really good gourmet meals at Evo. When we did that first like really, really good dinner. And so I always when I go to Evo, I book like a really, really nice dinner. So yeah, I'm always looking forward. I have like a whole spreadsheet of like places I want to eat.
Look, man, we keep it bougie in here, dude. I'm telling you.
I mean, we're out there, bro. We might as well. Like, if I'm going out there, I'm eating good.
Look,
you gotta eat at least one really good meal.
My brother's birthday is that weekend. I told him, look, man, this is the one time you better come on through.
Right.
He said, yeah, I'm coming. All right, Gordon Ramsay.
That's where we're
Just
going.
for you.
Gordon Ramsay, hella good.
Yeah, dude. Last 2 years ago, I think I don't remember where we ate dinner at last year, but 2 years ago or 3 years ago, we did the Golden Steer, which is like the Golden Steer is like a really, really, really nice steakhouse. It was like an old mob steakhouse back in the day, and we got the GM to do it like a little tour with us and showed us the mob room in the back and all that. It was awesome. So yeah, definitely try to do awesome food experiences for Evo if I can.
I'll say this real quick about the finals in the same venue.
Mm-hmm.
I'm an old school Evo head. I like the idea of casuals right here, and I want to watch finals is over there.
Yeah,
I don't mind going to another room or whatever for it, but like if it's too far detached from the casuals, I think that's where it's frustrating for me, because all these years, this is the first year they brought casuals back on Sunday. That has not been a thing for almost a decade at Evo. Pretty much since they've been in the Mandalay, it's never been a thing.
yeah.
So bringing it back this year feels good, because you still want to level up to some degree or just get some sets in, and then because I mean, let's say Tekken's not until like it's one of the last games, you can still go get some casuals in, watch a little bit of whatever you just kind of want to watch, or hang out with people, get more games in, etc. Tekken's on, all right, cool, casuals are done, all right, whoever you're chilling with, we're gonna go inside and go watch Tekken. You know what I mean? Like that's something I miss about old Evos, is being able to do that. So I feel some kind of way about that room being too far detached from casuals, personally.
Yeah, I can definitely see that for sure.
I'm sorry, I've just turned into Maximum Games Kensu. I'm sorry. I have to get Maximum Games at all times. If it's offline, Maximum Games. Hey, you trying to sit down and play? All right, cool. Yeah, let's get. Hey man, who are you? Oh yeah, cool. Play. Oh wait, Street Fighter's going on. All right, man. Dap him up. All right, man. I'm gonna go watch Street Fighter. Hey man, you wanna? All right, man. I'll holler. Whatever. Like that's the vibe.
Yeah, that's knowledge right there. I mean, that's like to me, that's the highest quality value you get out of going to tournaments is Maximum Games with people from all over. You get to exchange hands with people that you don't get to see or experience, and that like do not, and I said this in probably every podcast I've been in, do not go to a tournament, play your 2 matches, lose, go to the hotel room and go home. Like
No.
that is an extreme waste of money. It is obviously the tournament is the test, but you still have tons of leveling up to do and learning, and you have a whole weekend to play against people and level up. Just sit down, like, bro, where are you from? You want to get some games? I'm so and so, and just go from there. Like, you don't have to be the life of the party. You don't need to be a big name or whatever. Just get down, sit down, and let's get on these games. Serious.
It's a fact.
Well, I, for one, cannot wait for this year. It's going to be great.
Should be a lot of fun.
It's going to be fun.
I have 2 tournaments planned this year, but I'm going to try to go to more. So we'll see how that goes. And go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I was just going to say, I'm going to try to hit all the big ones this year. I kind of have a little bit of an advantage because, I work for Southwest Airlines. So that kind of helps me a little bit. But I'm definitely going to try to put my face out there a bit more, try to compete TWT, just try to be out there more. I miss it a lot. And you'll see a little bit more of me this year for sure.
Awesome. And just like our good old weekly tradition, now that we're at the end of the podcast, we'll just quickly discuss what we've been up to, what you want to share. So Jeremy, do you want to go ahead and start us off?
Yeah, I can go. I told Alan I started like 3 games back to back. I don't got nothing to play, but I started 3 new games because that's what fucking happens all the time. Ice, I'm finally getting married in 2 weeks.
Oh my gosh! Congratulations, dude.
Chill, calm down. Sorry.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we're getting married on the 24th. Yeah. So there's a long time coming for that. Other than that, living life, dude.
Nice.
Sounds good. Ice, what you got going?
Yeah, so the holiday season is over. Still, kind of getting into the rhythm of things. as far as recreational stuff goes, I'm trying to like get my game together. Like I took like 3 or 4 weeks off not playing. We were in Mexico over the holiday, so I was hanging out with the family and stuff. So I'm getting back into that. I started reading Dune, so I watched Dune 1 and Dune 2, and then I was thinking, man, I kind of want to read the book. So I've been reading Dune a lot lately, and also golf is always a thing now, as you probably know.
Yeah, I remember that.
So yeah, those are the main things, but definitely trying to turn the knob up more on tech and practice. Looking at matches, watching videos, doing some training mode stuff. Trying to not just be a pop monster in 2025. So we'll see.
All right, Kent. So what you got going on other than Marvel Rivals? That's it. I was gonna say I see the man stream almost every day, and it's him on Rivals. I was like, yeah, it's another day.
Edit this podcast later.
Yeah.
Rivals, obviously. I've been working on my secondary YouTube channel, Kensu Rivals. So I'm doing both my FGC channel and Rivals channel. You guys see me. I'm at no shortage of being busy.
No.
Like even though I'm playing Rivals, it's like when that goes off, it's like what time is it? Like 3 a.m. All right, what I gotta edit? This? All right, not trust. I'm still a workaholic. I try my best to play and learn as much as I can right now, cause I'm pretty much on. I joke about this, but I'm on fighting game sabbatical right now, so like I'm just really just waiting for City of the Wolves at this point. I know my comes out most likely next month for Street Fighter. Yeah,
that's what it's looking like, and I'll probably be on that for that.
I'll most likely do a My for Noobs tutorial video. I'll prep my timelines, get that video going, play My for a good 2 weeks, 3 weeks, maybe play in the TNS, show people SNK players are good at fighting games. Let me stop. I'm being facetious, but I'll probably do some things with My for a little bit, make some content. Just I don't know. I'm at no shortage of things to do, but it's mostly been playing Marvel Rivals. I've been trying to unglue myself from the game so I can actually play Metaphor. But the only way I can see that happening is if I hit uninstall. And I don't know if I can do that just yet.
Not just yet.
I can tell you, Metaphor is pretty good.
Dude,
it is pretty good.
If it wasn't for Rivals, and I didn't expect it to take me by storm like that, because I played the betas, I was like, this is all right. It was all right. It was Marvel Overwatch. Okay, cool, whatever. And then like the full release came out, and I was like, okay, Psylocke's available. I gotta play the ninja.
Right. And
here we are. so yeah, Marvel Rivals. Yeah. The last thing I can say is I've been playing a lot of MVCI because there's some events coming up for it, and I never got a chance to take that game serious, and I like that game a lot more than Fighters. And I kind of like the idea on the YouTube, like Marvel Rivals guy plays fighting games, like check this out, type beat. So I want to see if I can mix and match those two, specifically Infinite, since Max is doing things. Rivals, and kind of see how that kind of pans out on the channel, but that's sometime in the near future. So yeah,
I'm kind of sad that MVCI didn't really take off just because of how it looked and all these other issues and blah blah. Because I think there's a lot of crazy tech and sauce in that game that just people didn't really get a whole lot of time to work with.
Of course not.
So I am excited to see more stuff being done with it.
Yeah, just to add to it, Max intends to keep patching it. Apparently, that's what's been said. So I'm like, there's a big resurgence for it. Apparently, there's going to be a can opener for it. Oh man, I might try my hand out, see if I can mash some heads in and go back to Rivals.
I have my thoughts on the mods. This has been heavily documented, so
yeah.
All I'm gonna say for that is hater.
Yeah, that's all I just say he's a hater. That's it.
Sure, we'll write it down.
He's not making any money off of it.
If it's not AAA and it's a mod, he's a hater. That's all it is, dude.
Come on, bro.
Put on the tombstone right there.
I'm editing that part out just so you know.
As long as they don't call him a developer.
They don't.
He's not developing.
I think Max is still just Max.
Yeah. I don't think anyone's going around saying, "Oh, he's a developer now."
No.
I doubt that. Yeah, that's it for me.
All right. For me, like I said it before the podcast, I finally finished Final Fantasy VII Remake. It's taken me 6 years. Since Rebirth is finally coming to PC, I was like, all right, time to sit down, get through it. Big surprise, it's phenomenal. I can't wait for Rebirth. I still have to go through Intergrade, which I'll probably do tomorrow or Tuesday, just because it's not very long, so I could probably just breeze through it, just get the story. I started Metaphor. I am about 5-6 hours in, and yes, it's phenomenal. It's really good, and I really like it. I'm playing on the hard difficulty right now, and right now, since it's early game, if you get ambushed, you're fucked, dude. I just die, and it could be a skill issue. All right, I'm not gonna say the game is like that difficult or what, but right now, if I get ambushed and I fuck up the overworld, I'm dead. So I'm having a lot of fun with that, and big surprise, I'm still playing just gacha games left and right. I'm playing through the Wuthering Waves campaign or story. Combat's fun. That's about it. The first chapter, story-wise, is kind of boring and bland, but it's getting better. And that's just kind of where I'm at right now.
Oh,
Cool.
And so we'll go ahead and finish off the episode there. Thanks for tuning in, and obviously, Ice, thanks for coming on again.
And
We love having you on.
Absolutely.
And Kenso, thanks for coming on as well. You did say you can pop in whenever we need you, so thank you. And
I appreciate you guys. Thanks for having me. I love talking about this stuff. So anytime, I'm down.
always.
Yeah,
especially because we still plan to do a really in-depth Soul Calibur episode, so you're going to be on that one. So thanks for listening.
Of course.
Tune in next week.
See you guys.
Peace out.
Peace.